4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Marketing Minutes brought to you by 3T Academy. I'm your host, Billy, and I'll be taking you through today's top market stories and analysis. Today's show is proudly hosted by Double Bottom Trades, where we bring you the latest trading strategies and techniques. But before we get in this market, we're going to need some words of motivation from Lady A. What you got for us this morning, fam?
All right, this morning from March 23 is, I am blessed to be surrounded by people that I love. I thank them for their patience and their grace.
That's good, especially with the grace. I will say this, you don't find God in religion, you find him in relationships. So don't get caught up in all the bullshit. Get out there with your people, find your people. And if you don't have people, create your people. It's kind of what we did. We created our own community, our own ecosystem, because we wanted a like-minded people, just like we had in the academy. But we had a little extra skill set that other people might not want to acquire like us. So hence why we're together. So that was a good one. I needed that one today. Yeah. Relationships is where it's at, man. Don't get it fucked up. You can't do this life alone. I've tried. It don't work. It's a big. All right, let's get into this. Good one. Good one. Good one. I like that one. All right, let me share my screen. Now that I've learned how to use the share button in life. That's an inside joke for the people watching at home on the weekend, watching us at night just because you're bored, watching the Morning Marketing Minutes. You will understand we probably have to do this 2 times a day. We'll get all the way through this and we'll realize Billy forgot to share his screen. So then we got to get all happy and go through everything again. So not today, fam. I got it on lock today. All right, let's pull this up. If I can find it. There we go. All right, what's the fear and greed at today? I can get to 36. About where we were yesterday, man. It's it would be expected to have fear in the market with everything that's going on. Jerome speaking, the crisis going on. I don't want to use crisis, but the planned execution of the banks doing what they need to do, and then continue to raise the interest rates by 0.25, which Dustin and Darren both called out yesterday. Good call out. They had to do something. They're going to have to continue to do something. It's just how much do they want to tighten the screws and how quickly do they want to tighten them? So just make sure that every time Jerome Powell speaks, you got some calls and puts ready. Because as he's speaking, it usually goes up. And as soon as he gets done speaking, it usually tanks to the ground. So we'll be ready again next time. Yesterday, we made some really good money. Excuse me. Get into the FinViz, and you can see there it is. Woo, that was dirty, bro. The Dow is down 530 points. The NASDAQ is up 190, and down 190, and the S&P 500 is down 65. We made about 10 grand this week just putting puts. We put a few calls on the SPY, but mainly just putting puts in. Every time it hits the VWAP or hits a high of the day, man, we've just been banging it out. We're going to continue to watch it. I do feel like we'll have with that kind of fall, we are going to have a little bounce. We'll just have to play it again. We're going to play it off the VWAP. We're going to play it off the highs and the lows and play it off those trends. Probably not so much the trends, but the highs and the lows and the VWAP is where I'm liking right now. So again, with this kind of fall, man, it was a major fall. I do feel we're going to have some bullishness in the market in the morning, and then we'll just have to watch it and see what it does. If you're playing some other plays and your plays don't work out today, look at yesterday's previous gainers. Some of the top gainers were GME, EZGO, Duo, SCYX, ETMB, and INM. Had some good moves. I know the team made some money off the ones that we were calling out yesterday. So good job on that, fam. Damn good job. All right, let's see what the morning squawk is talking about. All right, Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. You guys realize today is 3/23/23. There's some patterns there. Double whammy. The Federal Reserve hiked its benchmark rate by a quarter point Wednesday, as was largely expected. The Fed also eased off its rate increase ambitions, saying one more could be offing for this year. Markets seem to take it all in stride. But then the Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, who was testifying on Capitol Hill, said some things that didn't seem to sit so well with investors. Powell, speaking to reporters after the big announcement, said a rate cut isn't in the Fed's base case and noted that the recent collapse of Silicon Valley Bank likely resulted in a tightening in financial conditions. Yellen, meanwhile, told lawmakers that regulators aren't considering a blanket guarantee for all U.S. deposits without congressional approval. The Dow and the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq all ended in the day at least 1.6% down. Man, it's just wild what's going on. If they can't put a blanket across it, because what it's going to do to our market, but we all know anything over 250,000, we cover anything under 250,000. FDIC has insurance, but I don't know how much money is in their insurance part of it. I know I heard the number once before, but it's not enough to cover. The money system is a shell game, and it's a faith-based game. They're hoping that you still believe the bullshit that they're telling us, and that's basically what that is, man. Let's see. Ford's profit engine carry EV biz. Ford is changing the way it reports financial results, which will put its nascent electric vehicle business under a bigger spotlight. The company said its EV unit lost about 2.1 billion last year on an operating basis, and that it expects to post an adjusted loss of 3 billion in 2023. But as a Detroit automaker works to gain traction in the EV market, it plans to rely a great deal on the legacy internal combustion engine and fleet business. Ooh, would that mean the gas and the combustion engine, which rang up a combined 10 billion in operational profits last year? Who would have thought? The outlook is even better for this year. Ford expects adjusted profits of 7 billion for the ICE unit and 6 billion for its fleet operations. New CEO. Don't care nothing about that. So that's some of the stuff that we got going on. You can see what happened when Jerome came out. Got some few things going on with Ford. You can't lose that kind of money and continue to stay down that investment road, at least in my opinion. But all right, so next we're gonna go check out. Well, first, well, my boy's not here, so we're gonna check out the SPY before we go check out what's going on in the market, and then we'll come and check out in the market. All right, so we got the SPY. You can see the big crack that we had. We were talking yesterday. This is one of our main levels that we had as resistance. I think it was like the 399. Let me move y'all big heads the other way. Put y'all over here. Yeah, it was like 399 area and then 400. I didn't expect it to hit 402. I thought we'd hit 400, but all we kept doing was putting puts in every time it would hit this line. Granted, it got real uncomfortable here, but we all know if you watch this long enough, you know what it's going to do. It's got to get that spike up. And we called it yesterday before it happened. I was going to hold the puts and continue to add puts until Jerome Powell spoke. I got a little gun shy and sold before he spoke because we had this huge tank, man. I mean, it just tanked. So I started taking profits then. But I waited and played out my plan. I'd have made about 15 grand yesterday. That's all right. Still make cash. That's what I was wanting to do. And we're in that market now. Remember, you got to take profits when you have them, especially when that thick. Excuse me. So we're sitting in VWAP. It's just kind of moving sideways, trying to find that 393. If that's going to be base or if it's going to come back down. So beginning of the market, honestly, we're just going to watch this and see where the volume is going to go, and then try to find our point. If we can get above the 395 and get a run up, we'll put some calls in and see if we can run it back up to 400. But some volume will come in the market. Let's see on the daily. You can see we rode that. Look at that big drop. That's a huge, huge candle drop, man. What do? We got right up to the 400 and we touched the 50-day and then came on down. That's exactly what we thought it was going to do yesterday. It's very hard to bust through that 50-day moving average, especially when it's this kind of gap. The amount of volume that it takes to close that kind of gap is ridiculous. Now, if you had a smaller gap between your 13 and 50 with that type of volume, then yeah, you'll probably bust through it and you can hold above it. But being that separated, takes a lot of volume. We all know it's a lot harder to crack the 50-day than the 13-day. So now we'll get into, is Dustin in here? You back, Dustin? I don't think so. All right. Let's see. Well, before, because we haven't checked on gold and silver this week. What's going on with gold and silver, Faye?
We have gold spot at 1977.71 USD and silver at, let me just change. I have it set to Canadian to 22.92 USD. For Bruno, we've got gold at 2,700 and silver at 31.31. We're testing a high of 2000 from last year this time, so of March. So we'll see what happens in the next week or so. We were rejected in the beginning of the week. But now with Jerome Powell's talk, we'll see what happens for next week. But this is definitely exciting. We do have a new world reserve currency. Nobody knows about it yet. But Russia and China have decided to settle in the yuan.
I heard about
And
that.
so, yeah, so it's starting. And yeah, so we'll see if they back their currency with gold.
Yeah, it already is. Yeah, it's backed by gold. It's things just crazy, y'all. We've been saying this. I know you guys watch Coach, and that's who we watch on a continuous basis. And we've all been saying it, man. You got to watch out for the BRICS. Any countries that can come together, decide on a currency that's backed by a gold or precious metal. That's a game changer. And the fact that they go live with everything, like Faye said, and take us off the petrodollar. And now that they've already said they're going to use the digital yuan, the Chinese dollar, to trade oil back and forth. It's done. It's a wrap.
It is. Yeah. And a lot of the other countries, like the countries that had sanctions, like Argentina,
lifted them.
So they're applying to the BRICS. So now they have alternatives, like the switch is here. So yeah, we're going to see some big changes coming.
And then I know Putin also, didn't he relieve like $20 billion of African debt?
I'm not sure about that. I didn't hear anything about
I think
that.
he wiped out like $20 billion of African country debt to allow them to come into the BRICS and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game changer, man. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah. And you keep asking me about where I think gold's going to go. I was listening to Jim Rickards this week, and he was saying that a conservative number is by 2025 is 15,000 US. That's a conservative number. The true number, if you listen to Mike Maloney and all his math and stuff, he's saying it's between 40 and 50,000. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to go there. I really don't. But yeah. It's definitely not 2000. So again, like I said, we're testing 2000 right now. It was rejected at the beginning of the week, but we'll see what happens today.
I think this is a good example of why people need to be diversified within their portfolios and not only hold crypto, not only hold stocks, not only hold gold or silver. Because if one of these things hits, you're going to make money if you have a decent amount of all of them.
Yeah, we said that was one of the first things I said on stage is, what are you going to do when crypto goes to shit? Like, what are you going to do when everything goes to shit? Are you ready for it? Because we don't know what's going to happen, right? One thing is going to try to fight the other. Just like you said, you got to diversify. You got to be across the board and be ready. Don't be scared. Just be prepared, and don't put all your eggs in one basket. And if you do, just be ready for the consequences of what happened if you're wrong. But I know I get shit on all the time. You actually hold gold and silver. Seriously, nobody's using gold and silver. Look at me now, bitches. Look at me now. I'm gonna be able to go to Walmart. I can go get a fucking horse and a cow probably when this shit's over with. Man, I can't go get one now. I'm making jokes. But anyway, I think it's an amazing time. It's a scary time, but I also think it's an amazing time because we're rebuilding into something that we wanted, that we could possibly want. I don't want CBDCs. But I do want this whole structure blown up. I just don't know how that looks. But all right, go ahead. What'd you say?
What Faye's thoughts on silver? Nick asked him.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on silver, Faye?
I think it's got to catch up to gold. So if gold moves, silver is going to definitely move. And then you've got to look at the gold to silver ratio. I keep talking about that, right? We're at like, I don't know what the number is today, but it's around 90 to 1, 85 to 1. And typically it's traded at like 15 to 1. It's mined out of the ground at 7 to 1. So that just goes to show you like there's huge upside on silver. It's used in industrials. We're moving to solar. It's used in solar panels. It's used in almost all industrials, right? So There's really big upside on silver. It's just a little bit more volatile. It is a monetary metal, so I mean, it's being used. Let's go back to Argentina and Venezuela. They're using it for groceries and gas and rent and whatever. So, I mean, that's a good one to have for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna end up back into some gold and silver times, at least in my opinion. All right, we got the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dustin. What we got going on in the markets, fam?
Hey, what's going on? Okay, so yesterday was our big day. They raised it. The federal Powell, Jerome Powell raised it 25 basis points. Today we have our initial jobless claims report at 8:30. Actually, should be coming out any moment now, and that usually will swing the market one way or the other. Tomorrow we have the durable goods report. Fridays are usually slower anyways, so I'm not sure how much the durable goods is going to move the market, but it definitely could. So something to keep an eye on.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely agree, man. This jobless report, well, the continuing jobless claims, we'll see how that goes. If we got more people trying to get jobs and more jobs coming in, it's crazy. It's usually a good thing, but it's not what we want to see right now to get our market back under control. We'll figure out what it is, man, and then we'll figure it out together, actually. So that's a wrap for today's morning market in minutes. I hope you enjoyed this quick and informative look into the financial markets. Remember to stay up to date with the latest news and analysis by visiting our website at 3T Academy and following us on social media. Big thank you to our host, Double Bottom Trades, for bringing us the best in trading strategies and techniques. And until next time, namaste, bitches.